Hello everyone and welcome back to another segment of Sherry's Metaphysical Corner. I'm your host, Sherry. And for those tuning in for the first time, I'm a sound practitioner using tuning forks and crystal bowls, and an energy practitioner working with the Melchizedek method and Reiki energies, and a medium clearer removing low vibration energy attachments from people, structures, and offices. So in today's episode, I thought I'd give a short demonstration with the crystal bowls, the Zen tambour, and the tuning forks in a remote session. So to get started, let me give you a quick synopsis. The crystal bowls and the Zen tambour, I use these in group gatherings. People lie on yoga mats and relax to the soothing tones. And these gatherings usually take about an hour. Sometimes they go a little bit over. They rebalance the physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. They stimulate the circulatory and glandular systems in the body. They regenerate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is simply one of the three divisions of the autonomic system. They also help clear energetic and emotional blockage. They can induce a meditative state, reducing our internal dialogue by slowing the brain wave of beta, alpha, and theta wave states. And who doesn't want to slow down and relax? So it's very relaxing and so helps one to slow down. The tuning forks, I primarily use these one-on-one in the office and in remote sessions across the country. So a remote session is simply a person is in their home, I'm in my office. These can also be used in group gatherings as well. They use audible acoustic frequencies to balance the body's electrical system. They lift one's vibration by clearing away stuck ripples of energy created by the challenges in one's lifetime. And again, the biofield or the aura around the body holds memory. So let me just show you what that looks like. This is the aura or the biofield around each person and the animals as well. They're 5 to 6 feet wide on either side of your body. Literally, that's how large they are. So you're in a bubble. It's 2 feet above you, it's 2 feet beneath you. So they hold a lot of memory and a lot of challenges from things that we've experienced. So for example, parents divorcing at a child's young age, losing a job, going through a stressful breakup, moving away from family and friends. So what's happening is they're leaving static charges of incoherence in the field. The tuning forks change in pitch when they're moved around the body in response to the information that they're encountering. And this may sound odd, but the body doesn't recognize its own noise being out of sync with itself until a tuning fork is actually introduced. These are very useful in places in congested areas such as physical ailments like muscle knots, sciatic nerve discomfort, arthritis, etc. But they're not limited to just physical discomfort. They are helpful for anxiety, stress, intestinal discomfort, adrenal fatigue, thyroid, and so many more. So working with these can speed healing and alleviate discomfort. So I'm going to start with the tuning forks and demonstrate the process used while I'm giving a remote session. And then I'm going to end the segment today with the crystal bowls. And I'll give some dialogue while I'm working with the tuning fork so that you have an understanding of what it is that I'm doing and how it actually works and what information I may get. But very little dialogue once I start using the crystal bowls. And I'm going to just slide over afterwards and kind of close us out quietly, softly with the crystal bowls, and I think you'll like that. So with the tuning forks, I am going to concentrate on the lower 3 chakras just for this demonstration. And where that is, let's see. Where are we? We're in Sing Sing. These are the bottom 3 chakras. So this is your root chakra, your sacral, and your solar plex. Those are the 3 chakras that I'm going to be working on. They hold a lot of energy, repressed energy. So I'm going to work on those areas just to show you while I'm doing a remote session how I actually work with the tuning forks in those areas. It's just an energy center is all it is, and it brings energy through the body. And this being, these actually right here being the trunk region of the earthbound chakras. And then I will ground a person out and continue. So as I begin, I'm asking the viewing audience watching this segment, set an intention for yourselves and just breathe. No matter how many times you watch this segment, set an intention. It can be physical or emotional, it doesn't matter. Once you set it, forget it. The universe heard you, you don't need to repeat it. And then just breathe. Enjoy the sounds and just breathe. Slow, full breaths. So this remote session, or this remote demonstration, I should say, is really much the same as something that I would be doing on someone that lives in, let's say, California. Pull this other stuff out. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to ground a person and get the chi moving through their body. So I'm going to start at the feet. I'm going to go to the calves. I'm going to go to the knees. And go to the inner thighs. And when I'm doing a remote session on a person, let's say if they're out of town, or they live in Pennsylvania, or they live in California, or they live in Africa, it doesn't matter. All I need is the name. The name holds a vibration. And I'll have you move your hands. So as long as I have that, I can work on their hologram and the energy goes directly to them. And I've worked on many people across the country. I actually worked on a woman life coach in California. She called me a week after the session and she said, "Oh my God, Sherry, I just had the most amazing breakthrough. I got to talk to someone in my family that I have not had communication with forever. It was an amazing breakthrough. This was just amazing." So it definitely works. They do feel it. That felt so cool. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, and then we go to the shoulders. So this is, again, just to get the chi moving through the body, the energy field or the life force moving through her body. Okay, so once we've done that, it's the same thing with a remote session. I am going to look for the Earth Star chakra beneath your feet. And that is about roughly a foot to a foot and a half beneath your feet. We actually have 2 chakras beneath our feet, but I'm going to go with the Earth Star chakra. Find it. Hook onto it. And then send a lightning rod of energy all the way up through her chakra centers, right up through the crown. And ground her to Mother Earth with it. And that's it. That's how we set up a session for a remote or a in-person session. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to concentrate on these 3 chakras here, as I told you earlier, these bottom 3 chakras. So I'm going to start at the 5-foot mark, and that's the intention. So even if you don't have the space, you set an intention. This is 5 feet. So this is your birth line, where you came in. And as we comb through the field to her physical body, that's present day. So this is the journey. So this is your past. You're moving toward the present day. And then you're right over the chakra center. This is present day. And then we just drop the energy there and call them out. So what we're doing is moving through the journey. So this, let's find it, the free edge of the root chakra. And continue moving. And we're listening. And there's a couple ripples here. We're just going to keep moving through them. So the root chakra on the left side represents things that we wanted to be doing and didn't. We either didn't get a chance to, or we just didn't do for other reasons. And when we find a ripple, we just hang there for a minute and keep moving. So I'm now about the halfway mark at this point. And Sarah has very graciously allowed me to work on her. So I don't know how old she is. I'm not going to divulge that. But whatever age she is right now presently, if she goes back to half of her age right now, I'm picking up something that she wanted to do back in that timeline, because it gives us a timeline of where the ripple is stuck. She may divulge that to us later. And we just keep moving forward. And this is the yin side of the body, that's the yang. So the yin and yang, that's just male and female energy. And let me just show you what that means. This poster right here, this picture, that looks kind of alienish, and there's a child at the bottom. See the chakra centers on the child's body are all lit up. This is the yang and this is the yin. This is actually your mother and father fueling your energy centers and your biofield when we're children. They're the ones doing the yin and the yang energy. So if your parents are wounded a little bit, they can only give us so much, because their parents were wounded. So I tell all my clients, it's cyclical. Step back. Look at your parents with different eyes, because they didn't have holistic stuff when our parents were growing up and their parents were growing up. There's so much holistic stuff nowadays that are fantastic help for everybody. Back in the day, they didn't have anything. So many people either would drink, and that again is the right side of the body, and that activates the liver area. Overdoing, sugar, alcohol, drugs, abusive. But the left side of the body, again, if I stay with the yin, these are the areas that are going to show you disappointments, things you wanted to be doing in life, and self-esteem issues. So those are the 3 areas I'm working on today. And I'm going to just hover over her root chakra. What it's doing now is it's just dropping the energy into the chakra center so it can be dispersed throughout the body. And then we call them up very slowly. And it just pulls out what is no longer needed in her system. And we just keep going. And that's the root chakra. The sacral is the next one up. Find the free edge. We're listening. And we're moving through the field. And this is where we hold the majority of our stuff. When we have depression, when we have rejection, disappointments, this is all housed right in the center. So you have your root, your sacral, your solar plex. Right in the center is the sacral, and we suppress a lot here and hide a lot. So the organs on this side can really be affected. So the organs on the left side of the body, while we're here, I'll tell you what they are, would be the pancreas, the stomach, the intestines, the spleen. They can actually take a beating and slow down, not work well, not work properly.
What about the gallbladder? I have gallbladder issues.
That's the right side of the body. That's a good question, and I'm glad Sarah brought that up. The right side organs that can be affected, just like the yin side, which is the left side, the right side organs that can be disrupted are the gallbladder, the liver, and the colon. So if dad was wounded, just like mom, if mom was wounded, any one of those organs that I just gave you as a description can be offset and have distortion in them, and they're not going to work properly. Same thing with the right side. If dad was wounded, you're not getting enough proper male support energy, so these 3 organs can really take a beating. And what happens is, let's say the liver, I'll use that as an example. It's overprocessed, it's overdoing, it's emotional caretaker. You say yes to everybody else and no to yourself. You feel like you've got to save the world, do everything for everybody else. Or the gallbladder, which would be directly below it, so your liver would be around here, your gallbladder would be here, right in this area. That is social responsibilities. Could be work, could be political communication, could be family. It's social interactions is what it is. So if there's any issues there and dad is not a communicative type of person or not very supportive, we're going to feel that impact in our gallbladder. And again, 95% of that is because Dad himself was wounded raising you, because he didn't have somebody in his corner raising him properly either, who was also wounded. So again, it's cyclical. And we just call them up, and we remove what isn't needed in the system any longer. So we're going to keep moving along. Okay, the last one, I'm at the solar plex. Find the free edge. So the organs can definitely be affected if there's too much static built up in our field, if there's too much incoherence in the field. That stuck energy affects not just our whole physical being, but the organs. Every organ vibrates at a specific frequency in our bodies, and everybody's body is different, even though we all have the same organs. So if we're lacking what we need to begin with and going through life like that, it's going to affect us. So I'm at the solar plex area, and that's self-esteem issues, self-worth. So if mom was a little bit wounded herself, or if mom was a workaholic and worked, long hours, maybe she was a single mom, things like that come into play. The child kind of takes a back seat. Or if mom was just wounded and her mom wasn't there for her when she was a kid, and she has issues of self-esteem herself and is very sad or depressed, that in turn rubs off on the child. So we're affected by everything that we experience, even if it's not directly to us. Okay, and then I'm just going to show you a tuning fork with the drummed ends that we just used to get the chi moving. When we find an area in the field that's really stuck, or I can really feel some dense energy, I just go back in and comb through it and smooth it out a little bit more. So think of these as, what do I want to call that? Coarse sandpaper. And the others, a straight edge, fine sandpaper. So these will help a lot. And I do the same process, run through the system, and then call them out. So that is exactly how I would also do a remote session on anybody. As long as I have the name, I can work on their hologram. So what I would do, I'm going to pretend that I just did her whole body. I did her left side, and I came down and I did the right side as well, and now we're completed both sides and they're in balance. What I would do at this point is wrap her body and seal it. But I would like to, I don't know if I have the space to do it, but I'm going to try. Yeah. What I would start with when I'm finished, this is how I normally conclude. I would bring the energies back down to her feet. So I would run them down like this. And just come right down the chakra centers. Through the hips. Again, I do the exact same process with a remote session. There's nobody on this table, and I'm doing the exact same process. And I'll tell you, they feel it. And then right down to her feet. I use both on the right, top and bottom, both on the left, top and bottom. And then wrap and seal the whole body, kind of like a cocoon. I use the infinity symbol. I cross at the solar plex and seal at the solar plex. And then in conclusion, I wrap the whole body. So I walk up the body, literally. Wrap her feet. See if we can do this gracefully. Oh.
Do you want me to turn them on with her?
No. And I walk right down her body. I'm good to go. And then we come back. And that is a session. So whether you have a remote session or an in-house session in the office, it's the exact same procedure. All right, so now we're going to also show you a demonstration with the crystal bowls and close out the show with the crystal bowls and relax. So take a breath, stay seated wherever you are, or lay down and relax. We'll be right back.
That was awesome.
So glad you did that.
Yeah, oh,
You're
no
going to feel that.
problem.
You're going to feel this
Yeah.
later.
Oh my God.
Okay, so now as we continue, I'm going to close out the show with the crystal bowl demonstration as well. So just sit back and relax while I play till closing. And when I have about a minute or two left remaining with the show, I'll help us to come back to ground and close out softly. So enjoy, relax, stay comfortable, and we're going to continue. So I'm going to start with Zen Tambor, so you have an idea what that sounds like. And this is what I usually start. So what I'm going to have you do now, and I'm going to pretend that we're at a regular crystal bowl gathering, is set an intention, again, just like we did earlier, of something that is bothering you. Set an intention, whatever it is, and let it go. You don't need to repeat it. The universe heard you. And take full breaths with me. We're going to inhale through the nose. We're going to hold it for a second and release through the mouth. We're going to get into a rhythm of breathing. So let's begin. Just breathe. And I'm going to stop playing for a second and just breathe with you. So let's inhale through the nose and let all the air out completely of your lungs. Okay, so let's inhale. Hold for a second and release. I think that's easy enough. So again, inhale. Hold for a second and release. And drop your shoulders when you release. And we're going to do that 3 or 4 times. It helps a person get into the rhythm of slowing down the mind. So again, stay with a rhythm that you're comfortable with. Inhale through the nose. Hold for a second and release. Again, inhale. Hold for a second and release. Now continue at your own pace. And just breathe. Now put yourself in a place that you absolutely love. A place that you need to go when you're really stressed out, when you just need to be quiet and still. It could be the beach, could be horseback riding in the woods, could be camping, could be at a resort. Wherever this place is, pull in all the elements around you. If you're at the beach, feel the sun warming your body. Feel the sand beneath you. If you're horseback riding in the woods, smell the leather of the saddle. Feel the breeze blowing on you while you're running through the woods. And relax. Just breathe. It's a vacation of the mind. working with you and bringing you back to ground. Drink a lot of water. And thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Stay well. And until next time, I'll see you next month. Stay tuned.